Boom, hello, and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. This is the #1 podcast in the executive protection game, and this is the largest free real-world library of executive protection content in existence. So sit back, relax, dig in, and enjoy the show while we honor the slogan that executive protection is more than just a job, ladies and gentlemen. It really is a lifestyle. Boom.
Boom! Wanted to come to you guys real quick about the Expo, man, this last week. It was absolutely amazing. In this next episode, you guys are going to see what it was like to go through the Expo. I really know that we did some amazing work. You'll hear from some of the instructors, you'll see clips and stuff of what it was like in real time. But I've been doing events for about 5 years, and I've never never created an event that hit like this, right? The Protector Symposiums are also very special and life-changing, but different, right? So the Expo, man, was for the executive protection industry. It was just cool to see the hearts of so many amazing people coming together that want to make the industry better, that want to get better together, that just want to be part of making the industry better by making themselves better, right? So let me take you through the overall flow of what we did. I showed up to the warehouse and it was just empty, right? And then we started doing the best we could to turn it into a beautiful event space, and it was Geddes training facility. First and foremost, let me just say huge thanks to these guys. They were flexible, they worked with us, they flowed with us. They were a great facility to work with, and I'm looking forward to hopefully having more events there with them. So that was the first thing. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Iron Goat. Thanks so much for being our title sponsors for this event. Couldn't have done it without you guys, Sam, Brett, and your wives. You guys were truly a heaven sent through to build this event out with. Mark Ledlow, truly, all the support on all the posts and putting everything together and funding everything. I couldn't have asked for a better team of folks to be working with. Smitty, you guys were awesome as well, man. And bringing the whole crew down and just spending time and just being the awesome types of people. Big love, I'm saying? You guys, we love anytime we can spend time with you guys. So, great group of people to work with to create the event. All the vendors were really happy as well. It was like, because I'm running the event. I'm on stage all day. So to go back and check on the vendors, satellite phone store, and hear clearer, and just to see all the vendors that were involved and hear that they're all stoked and can't wait to come back, that means a whole lot. So very happy to hear that as well. So that was really, really awesome. Let's see. So the first day this event kicked off, and we're going to give you guys a little taste of what you're missing. If you guys want to look at possibly getting early bird tickets or becoming sponsors for next year, you can still go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and look at the sponsor sheet and possibly get early bird tickets. I don't know if I put those up yet. So here we are, day after the event, not the day after, a few days after the event. I'm already overseas. I'm already about to be international again, back on the warpath. What we did and I hope I can tell you guys about this mission I'm on right now, because it's a special one, very special one. So day one, we get to this facility, it's empty, and it's time to make this into the most prolific executive protection expo ever, right? Like I said, this isn't just a conference. You're not just going to come and hang out with people and listen to people and talk. We wanted you to get into the hard skills. We wanted you to get into the soft skills. We wanted to create relationships and networking, right? And that's what we did. The first day, we set up the Protector Games, and people, even though you guys have been asking me, what the different events were going to be for the Protector Games, I wasn't going to tell you, and I didn't tell nobody, right? So when you got to the Protector Games, we had a total of 6 different stations. One was the play rack. Pull up, shoot the play rack, blah, 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 blah. Let's see what you got, man. Speed and accuracy. 2 was the attack on principal, right? So you step in front of the principal, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. You do it from the left side, you do it from the right side, step in front of the principal, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Do it from behind, step around front, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, right? So that's our firearms stuff, competency, and And that just gives us a feel for how effective someone is with their firearm, right? Shooting on paper, paper tells the truth. You're shooting at steel, steel tells the truth very loudly, right? Or actually very silently tells the truth.
Hit him leg. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Right. So that was fun, man. That was a blast to get to a blast. And then we went into the shoot house portion, right? So you're at the shoot house, you're doing your thug dizzle. And we had two scenarios for you. We had one attack on principle scenario where your client leaves you outside the building and then you hear gunshots inside the building. Now you need to navigate the building, the structure. You have shoot and no shoot targets inside the facility. And then you also have at least one op 4 who's the active shooter inside the facility. So you have to now navigate this facility, fight your way to your client, secure your client. When you get to the client, you have to apply a tourniquet, say he was injured. I think we were going right leg, tourniquet application, and then you were done. Scores were based on speed, accuracy, how you engage the targets. If you got hit by op 4, you had to take a knee, and it was a 5 count. So we have all the scores for all these, and it's awesome. I'm probably going to post them to you guys very soon so you can see where you all stacked up, even though we already talked about the winners. The second shoot house was you're in the room with your client, and boom, 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 you hear gunshots. Now you have to grab your client, do a client evacuation while you move through the space. So that was good. And the same thing, shoot, no shoots, and one op 4 in there shooting against you. You get hit, you have to take a knee for 5 seconds, add to your time. You shoot a no shoot, it adds time to your time. And then you have to get the client to the hard room, secure the client in the hard room properly, and then set security, and then boom, time, right? So, just some things to test your competency with regards to a number of skills. So you had live fire, then you had attack on principle drills, and then you went outside. We had 3 different medical quizzes and periods of application in there. So you would get to demonstrate your competency with your medical skills. Because I know you guys out there, or at least some of the haters, are all like, oh, Byron just does guns. Byron just does guns. So we made the Protector games very well-rounded testing ground of skills. You had firearms, you had attack on principle, and kind of structural movement, or some would call it CQB, but you can't clear a structure if there's only one person. It's just movement through a structure. Tactical structural movement with a pistol, and recovering your client, escorting your client. And then we had medical in there. And then the last station was the bug sweeps. So we had a scenario where your client was out and thought they saw someone put something on their car, and they want you to sweep the vehicle. So now you got to go through, you got to sweep the vehicle. We had a decoy in the vehicle, we had a pipe bomb in the vehicle, and we had an Apple AirTag in the vehicle. And you had a specific amount of time to find both and declare that the vehicle was clear and know the vehicle was clear. So just different skills. Next year, I'll mix it up. You'll have different events, right? Because I don't need you guys practicing these when you go home. But all in all, it was the type of event where you could really respect people that come. It's like a gym. People want to make fun of the fat guy in the gym, but here's the thing: at least the fat guy's in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least he's on the path. So it's not about being the biggest, the best. It's about being humble and vulnerable enough to just come in the first place, and or just want to come and have a good time and run a cool course of fire. A lot of people are like, I've never ran a shoot house in my life, so it's a really cool chance for them to go and do something tactically they'd never done. We had multiple people who never shot a gun in their life that we gave a quick course to, and then we let them do some of this stuff under supervision. They had a great time. And there were no cool kids, and there were no like, oh, I worked for this detail, I'm cooler than you. That stuff did not exist. It was genuine people, genuinely having a good time, genuinely working on field craft, and genuinely trying to get better and make each other better the whole time. It was so cool. And then after that, we went into the fellowship time where we brought food in. We had food trucks roll in, and we all just hung out, put on the fights and the UFC fights, and talked with each other and just spent time together that evening. And it was good. Brought some drinks in, brought some food in, put the fights on the big screen, and just spend time together. And that was the end of the first day. So that was the hard skill portion. Now, simultaneously to running the Protector Games, you also had an option of training with Big Tony and doing the medical portion. You had a choice when you came for the hard skills day. Either you do the hard skills, the Protector Games, and test your hard skills, or you come and you get a certificate, level 1 TECC certificate, first aid AED certificate. I wanted you guys to be able to walk away with something. And Big Tony's medical course is epic. Like, it's awesome. So then that evening we went into fellowship time, food trucks, drinks, fights, hang out, go. The second day was the soft skills day, right? The big room day, the auditorium day, in which we had probably, I don't even know how I'm going to beat this lineup of instructors of SMEs. I have some ideas for next year, but like it's legitimately such a strong stack, man. And everyone in the lineup really wanted to give. Like for me, I was on stage for 8 hours hosting the entire thing in every conversation. And I just thought, like, man, this is going to be a tough day. It's a lot of stage time. It's a lot of time, you know, when you're hosting these conversations, it's like you're in like a sports car, like you're in a fighter jet, like everything's happening in real time. Everyone's staring at you, pauses, silence, all that stuff is happening in real time. And so, you know, you can't have mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, you know, so it can be exhausting, right? But with these instructors up there, the amount of support and everything that was going on, dude, the amount of information they were wanting to give, it made it easy, man, because I give them the ball. We hit them with the question and they were gone, man, because they just wanted to give. They're the type of people that just wanted to make everything better and give to you guys. It was super easy to be able to host the event because these guys were just shelling out information. And there was a lot of times where I was like, I really hope these guys understand the value of the information they're getting, because you guys were getting some of the best information I've ever heard dispensed from a stage or in any event. EP content out there in the game, just because it was so genuine and real. There's no BS. There was no make this sound too complicated for you to do it. There was no make this sound complicated so I look really cool. It was like, this is how it works. This is how it really works. This is what you really got to do. Like, I was like, man, this is really valuable. So for you guys who want to get the replay on that, especially if you're a business owner, there's some massive amounts of value to that. I can't wait to roll that out. So we had topics like the business of executive protection. And I mean, you got to understand Anton Kalaydjian's in, like, I don't remember what publication, but his company is like one of the fastest growing companies in the state of Florida, right? Companies, not EP companies, companies, period, right? So, you know, guys like him and Elijah Shaw and just all of them, you know, Charles Law and Will Geddes and Todd Fox, all successful businessmen in our industry for multiple decades, at least a decade each, in the business of executive protection, household names in the game. See what I'm saying? So you can imagine the power of that conversation. There's so many equations that us younger businessmen are trying to solve, like even myself in some cases. You know, these guys are kind of my first calls in a lot of cases. And the reality of this whole event is this was basically me opening up my Rolodex of people that I call and lean on to do things, to you guys, really. You know, my strategy is different. It's not a very self-serving strategy, right? You know, I have my agents running around getting recruited by other companies, and you guys getting all the information, the cheat codes and all that stuff. But, you know, I have a strategy of abundance, you know, so I create abundance and I create opportunity, and it creates more of that, you know, just in the space, and it comes around to me when it's supposed to. So it's been really cool to see how that works. But, you know, watching the quality of conversations we had a conversation around international emergency management and KNR. Like, who's having conversations like that? Rick Sweeney was, you know, another one of them. He's been in business for multiple decades. And, you know, he has a background in KNR. Literally this morning, about 45 minutes ago, I just handed him a KNR case out of Costa Rica, you know, international disaster management. That's the type of operation I'm on right now, going into this other country here in an hour or two. And things that, you know, Todd Fox has definitely done a lot of, and Will Geddes specialized in a lot of that stuff. So we had a panel there that was multidimensional. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring that up, international disaster management, and KNR. And also there was another panel on operating in non-permissive or less permissive environments, is because we have a panel that has that real world experience and capabilities, but also that subject matter and the reality of that. These are other realms that guys that have executive protection skills. It's not executive protection, but it's touching. You know what I'm saying? There's an overlap in tasks and capabilities and principles and tactics, where guys that do EP can also operate in these other realms as well, and do. And I think much of the EP industry doesn't know that. And I think there are a lot of guys out there that like might find that EP is not quite right for them and might be like, like what else can I do with these skills? And there's a lot, man. There's some cool stuff in the wide area disaster space and private security space, and I've done an EP my entire adult life. And like, I'm not going to say no to the reality that maybe I rather protect things and places sometimes more than people, to be completely honest with you. Sometimes I think I should rename my brand the Private Security Lifestyle, because there's a lot you can do in private security. So I wanted to have those discussions in there so that you guys can realize that there are a lot of other task sets that you can really have a good time making an impact. Evacuations, there's so much out there. And then at the end of the day, the last panel we had was just a freestyle panel where we all just got up there and I just answered questions. Folks just lined up. And that was the other cool thing too. You go to some of these events and like the crowd is timid, right? Everyone's been pretending to be so cool for the last few days, and they're just afraid to ask questions because it might make them not look as cool as as they've been trying to pretend like they are the whole event, right? So, because everyone was just genuine and humble and was having a good time with each other, people were very willing to put themselves out there and ask their questions. And then they would get massive amounts of data around that question, because then you'd have and I told the instructors, dude, only one or two people answer the question because we don't have time for all this. And they just couldn't help themselves giving such good advice, man. So the big day in the auditorium was amazing. After that, we announced the winners to the shooting, to the Protector Games, the winners of the Protector Games, which was super cool, man, just to see everyone participate. And we had one female in third place, and then two dudes in first and second place, which was pretty cool. It was such an honor. And then we went into raffles. We gave away free training, easily a few $1,000s in free training, and some medical equipment, some EP medical equipment from Mana Group and different things like that. Ghost Ring Tactical for training. And then we finally got into the evening event, which was the executive protection, the Protector Social event. So we got the biggest Airbnb we could with the funds from the event and threw almost like a big old mansion party for everybody. It was awesome. The SMEs showed up, continued giving. Relationships were just, consummated, and people had a great time there. We had fire dancers there, had music there, and we just all hung out like one big family. And we brought the event in. This event overall was an event that I'm almost most proud of, one of my most proud of events. Huge shout out to my teams and the people that worked so hard to get everything done for us behind the scenes. That was a full volunteer workforce. So I don't know if people understand how much that means, that, by the grace of God, there are people around me that believe in the brand and the contributions so much that they're willing to give their time to come hang out, spend time around the brand, be dependable. It just is such a blessing, and to all of you guys that came up to me during the event were like, hey, and letting me know that the podcast has blessed your life, or the body of work that I've done has blessed your life, because I've poured my heart and soul into that over the years, and it's become the largest library of real world executive protection content on the planet. I just want you guys to know how much it really means to me in terms of putting gas in my tank. This event put gas in my tank. I can't wait for next year. It's going to be bigger and better and better and more beautiful. There's just so much. I don't know what I'm going to do about getting, that list of speakers was stacked, but we're gonna figure it out. And the shoot house, new events, it's just gonna be bigger and better. I really do know that we're on to something special. And everyone who was involved, special shout out to Core Medical for giving us free blood work. Everyone at the event got free blood work. You know, it really was so amazing to see something that was so valuable for so many people in the space. And I've already gotten answers back, because remember, everyone who was at the event is in a secret group right now, continuing to network right now at executiveprotectionlifestyle.com, at our social media platform. You won't even be able to see it because you had to have been at the event in order to be in that pool. Now, every event's going to have a pool, and then I'm going to have a master pool where everyone who's ever come to an EP Expo is able to network, right? This is what I do, man. I create ecosystems for marketing and networking and stuff like that. That's what I do. So if you're rolling with me, that's what you benefit from. But it was just awesome to see how many happy people were there, and how many people told me that this stuff changed their life, and how many people have already told me that they've gotten work from people they've met there, and how many business owners are like, dude, the networking and the stuff we're getting done together. I mean, even on the panel, the guys on the panel, you know, are all like, you know, figuring out how they can support each other. And when if you're really playing the game, you realize the game within the game is being able to support each other. And that's what the power of networking is. I can drag and drop the team almost anywhere in the world because I have vendors there that I can trust, you know, and that's where you get to when you're in this game for a while, and you start playing the game within the game, which is the game of relationships. So EP Expo 2024 was absolutely amazing, and I hope you'll join me for the next one. Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade, reminding you that this is more than just a job. Protection game is more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle.
Boom! Boom! Quick shout out to our sponsor, Staccato. My first pistol sponsor. I've been sponsored by a lot of companies, right, over the years. But when it comes to pistol, that's my bread and butter. Pistol is something I believe in. You know, I'm a competitive shooter. You know, we're shooting anywhere from, 800 rounds a month type of thing, right? So Staccato, being what I believe, is one of, if not the most complete handguns you can put in your hand. It's got every component that a handgun could have, should have. They're actually extremely dependable now that they've made some changes, and these things are straight up tack drivers. If you're looking for a pistol that will do as much of the work for you as a piece of hardware can, obviously you have to have the marksmanship and all the different things, but different guns perform at different levels. And I want to say that Staccato is one of, by far, for sure, take it from a competitive shooter, we're shooting the highest volumes of rounds constantly right now. Not used to have a background guy, but like right now, when you go shoot, you're gonna see certain brands. Staccato is one of, if not the highest performing firearm that is both CCW, duty ready, and also competitive ready. So I want to give them a shout out. If you guys are looking for a good handgun to build your skills on top of, go check out Staccato. Much love and respect. Boom. When it comes to the technology you use to protect your home, there's nothing better than Deep Sentinel. AI-driven, human-monitored technology that will keep you and your family safe for the same price you're paying for whatever Ring doorbell system you have. Check out Deep Sentinel. It's such an honor to join forces with these guys. They should be in every single house in the world. Get real-time Overwatch for you and your loved one. And for 10% off, depending on when you're watching this, don't forget to use code Byron at checkout. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can, because it makes all of these things possible. Thanks for those contributions.